Hello guys, what is going on? It's Zach here, and today I've actually got an interview with the one and only Chris that we had a little bit earlier on. And we did the interview over Skype, so hopefully we've covered everything that you guys want to find out about him before the start of the GML this season. And yeah, I'm just going to start the tape rolling, so hopefully you enjoy. Okay, hi Chris, how are you doing?
Hey Zach, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Just really happy to actually have you here doing an interview. It's been a long while since we've spoken, and I'm sure a lot of the community are very excited to have you being interviewed as well.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So I've got a few questions for you anyway, and we may as well just jump straight in. And
Sure.
so the first question I've got for you is, it's been a while since we've actually seen you playing on the AOC scene. So what actually made you decide to come back and take part of the GML?
I'm always up for a good Age of Empires 2 tournament. Um, Back in I think it was around March, Tyrant held a battle for number one tournament where they just had two players involved, and they didn't involve any of the rest of the top players.
Yeah.
So when they did that, I made a suggestion that they should have some kind of league with people in it, like all the top players, and seems like that's come to fruition. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it was something that we'd actually thought about a long while ago, and after putting on a lot of sort of thought about it, we decided, you know what, we're just going to go for it and just do it. And so yeah, we're very happy that you could actually accept the invitation and join in. It's great to have you back anyway. So will you be practicing much before the start of the tournament?
Um, Probably not. I'm pretty busy in life, so I haven't really spent a lot of time practicing. I've
Okay.
probably played about 8 games in the last 2 months,
Ooh.
just on a friend's Smurf account.
Right, okay. So are you feeling confident that you're going to have the ability in this tournament to perform well?
I always feel like I'll perform well. It really comes down to the day, though. I mean, we've all had some good days and some bad days.
Do you think though that perhaps if you were to put in a little bit more training before, then it could affect the outcome, or do you really believe that your ability at AOC is sort of deep within you and you can just sort of pull it out at any time?
Well, I'm hoping I can pull it out at any time. In the past, it's been a little on and off. At least I'm playing a bit of Warcraft 3 right now. Yeah, just trying to get ranked on US East, but not. It's still a tough game,
Nice.
but that'll at least keep my speed up a little bit and
Yeah,
my
of course.
micromanagement up.
Actually,
But
while we're on the topic actually of
sure.
other games, have you ever took part in any StarCraft 2, for instance?
No, I haven't. I installed the game, tried it, and I didn't like it, so I haven't played it since.
Oh,
But I've loved all other types of real-time strategy games.
yeah.
Other than
Okay.
StarCraft series, I don't know why.
Yeah, I think
Pretty
the
fan.
skills that you gain through playing one RTS can be quite easily transferred to another. So as you say, playing Warcraft 3 could actually really help you out as well, even if you weren't playing Age of Empires at the time.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
So actually, how confident are you actually feeling about the tournament then? Where do you actually think you're going to finish?
I hope first, to be honest, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Of course not. Um, it'll really depend on how well I'm playing. I mean, I've felt indestructible at times, and I've had my ass kicked by 1900 rated players 8 times in a row before, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, hopefully you're just feeling good on the day and sort of really ready and getting stuck in there really.
Definitely.
Awesome. That's good to know anyway. It's good to hear that the players are really feeling up for it and want to give 100%. So who do you actually think is going to be your toughest opponent in this tournament, and why do you think they will be the toughest?
I think it'll probably be Darko. I mean, that guy's been playing a million different real-time strategy games for like 12 years along with me,
Yeah.
and we've been rivals for a long time. He's got a lot of tournament experience too, which is something the other players lack.
Okay.
So
So that's
I
good.
think
A
he's
little bit of not tournament, rivalry between you then.
definitely
That's good.
for a long time. It's a long.
For those of you who don't know, Darko would be referring to Doubt, of course.
Yes.
Yes. And on the contrary to that, who do you think is actually going to be your easiest opponent in this tournament, and why?
Well, I think that the easiest opponent this time around would probably be Fiage. Now
Okay.
he's been a good player in the past. Like if you take him a year ago or 2 years ago, when he was playing in Legion for World Clan League. He was playing really good, but I haven't seen him in too many tournaments, and he is a bit inconsistent, I find.
Okay.
But I think he might still do really well and surprise everyone. So it's tough
Yeah,
to.
I think a lot of people actually sort of share the same opinion as that. A lot of people have been thinking that perhaps VH won't perform so well, and I don't really know 100% why, because he's actually taking part in 3 tournaments simultaneously, and he's been practicing a lot. It's just that the community hasn't really been seeing that.
With VH, it's interesting because he is able to play really well.
Yeah.
It just like his peak skill is really high, but his average skill because he plays a lot, his average skill is a little bit lower than I think some of the other players that are in this league.
Indeed. But of course, there always has to be the easier opponent, and in this situation, it could be VH. We'll have to wait and see. But who knows? Who really does know?
Yeah, it's 2 games around. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll definitely see some upsets for sure.
Of course, yeah. Always good. Okay, so out of the map pool, we have 15 maps in the map pool. What do you actually think will be your strongest map in this tournament?
I'm not too sure, but I will probably pick Arabia quite often, just because it's my standard go-to map, and if I haven't been practicing, well, I mean that's the bread and butter of
Course,
Age of
yeah.
Empires, so I think
Okay.
that'd probably be my strongest.
And
Uh,
as for your weakest, what would that be?
Weakest is I probably have a few weak maps on that list, definitely. I mean, all the water maps are not my strong suit. Islands, migration, even Nomad to some extent, although sometimes I do go on that map. Um, Even Fortress Regicide against some of the better post-Imperial players than I am
Okay.
might be tough. But I think those are the main ones
Right,
that
okay.
give me trouble.
Well, we'll see how they go. I'm sure if you've got that skill, you can pull through anyway. Okay.
Right.
So, do you actually have any sort of special way in which you prepare to face a particular opponent, such as watching recorded games of their past games recently, or anything else along those lines?
No, I don't. I kind of go with a feeling, depending on what map I think I should choose against them, and what I feel like I'm going to be good at playing. But in terms of preparation, like I'll try and get a good night's sleep the day before, and eat healthy on the day and stuff like that, just so
Okay.
your focus is a little bit better. And when you're playing recreationally, like I usually play music in the background, but for tournaments, it's usually a lot wiser to just stick with the game music so that you can hear when someone's attacking you.
Of course, yeah. Would you actually have any tips to any players out there who are looking to sort of get really serious for actually how they could improve with things such as that?
Definitely, the best way to improve is through playing people who are better than you all the time, and just play one-on-one against someone who's better than you. And after you're done the game, take 5 minutes and just think about why you won or why you lost and what you could have done better. And if you just steadily improve those things, I mean, there's so many small things in a game, like, my economy wasn't efficient, or I fought on that uphill there and that didn't work, or I didn't notice this. And most times they're pretty obvious, but if you keep improving those, you're bound to get better.
Nice. Sage words right there. Have you ever actually played a game where you have actually thought to yourself, you know what, that was perfect. I can't think of anything that I could have done better that game.
They're very rare. And in fact, I'd say, well, you can get very, very close to that, but you can almost never get ideal. I mean, for example, I mean, if you were playing one-on-one Arabia and you're doing just a scouts rush against someone else who's doing a scouts rush, I mean, 1 or 2 hits here or there might be the difference between the game. It probably won't, but it can be. And deciding whether to put a spearman there because you feel like it is sometimes like a guessing situation.
Almost like a sixth sense.
Yeah, well, you're trying to predict what they're doing, but you don't always think that fast in real time. And even if you do, I mean, it's still sometimes you have 2 spearmen and 3 spots to guard. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
guess.
of course.
We all guess. So
Yeah. Nobody's perfect, and it's all about finding those little holes in your opponent, I suppose.
and abusing them.
Of course. Okay, so what do you actually think is going to be the final order after the last round of the league?
Well, I'm hoping I end up on top, but we'll see about that. If I'm just gonna assume that, because anything else. No, I'm just kidding. I'll say that the order from then would probably be Doubt, Viper, Tim, Jordan. Oh, I don't know. Delgado might. I don't know. Delgado also has an interesting style, and there's so many water maps. He might pull something out of his
Yeah.
ass and do well in this tournament. And Good Boy is a tough one for me to predict because I've only really played like 5 games against him, and in those 5 games he's been really good, but haven't seen him around or anything like that. He's kind of one of those Chinese players who's off the
Yeah.
grid type
Sort
thing.
of off the radar. Yeah, definitely.
So no one really knows what to expect from him or what he's good at. Like I've seen his Arabia map play before, but I've never really seen him on
Yeah.
islands or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
That's one of the reasons that we kind of wanted to get him involved in this tournament as well. We know he's a great player, and we kind of want to get some recordings from him and actually see for ourselves in a competitive environment what he can actually sort of pull out the bag.
hmm yeah, I'll be interested to see that too, even if I have to play against it.
Of course.
Yeah, so I think yeah, DeGeo and yeah, it'll probably be DeGeo and then Good Boy and then VH would be my guess.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't place any money on that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion on AOC Zone recently, actually, and everyone seems to think differently. There really is actually no way to tell until it's actually over, but of course we can all try and predict as best we can.
Definitely. I mean, it's not like there's like a best of 9 with each player. Like it's
Yeah,
best of 2, pretty much, or 2 games.
of course.
So there's a ton of luck, especially with migration on that map list and Nomad on there. I mean, you could pick one of those maps just if you wanted a nice good shot at a random lucky map, if you
Yeah,
wanted
of
to.
course. Yeah, brilliant. Also, as well, I just wanted to ask one last thing. What do you actually think to the layout of this tournament? It's obviously very different to anything we've had in the past, and the fact that, as we know, there's only 2 games per set. How do you think that's actually going to affect things?
Well, to be honest, I think it was brilliant because you get to play against everyone. I mean, it's not like a tournament where there's one tough side of the brackets and one easy side, and you get a lot of good games out of it, and you get to play all the other top players. So it shows like your diverse skill because you're playing on all different maps, and you're trying to figure out what your opponent's weaknesses are and what your strengths are, which
Yeah.
is always tough for people to realize because I mean, you might think you're the strongest on XYZ map, and then you play it 6 times and get your ass kicked, and you're like, I was wrong, entirely wrong.
Indeed, yeah. So one of the goals we actually wanted to achieve with this is that there should be a wider sort of meta game around it, and opponents and players can actually sort of think and plan quite wisely about who they're going to be facing and what map to choose and what civilization to choose even.
Yeah, it's really like the list is actually most of the standard maps in the game, to be
Mm.
honest.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a few like ones that don't get played too often one-on-one, like Oasis, for example. You almost never see that map.
yeah.
And, I wouldn't even be sure what the best civilization is in that map, to be honest.
Okay.
And Black Forest, I mean, I'm not too sure like if it's explored on Black Forest or not, but if it's not explored, you might see some interesting strategies.
Yeah.
Just fascinating. Yeah.
I think
And I guess,
that the maps will probably be played on their standard settings, so
oh,
Black Forest would probably be explored. Okay. And one final thing, if this league is a success, would you be interested in coming back for future seasons?
definitely. Oh yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
That's good to
If
hear.
they keep running tournaments, I'll keep coming back.
Well, we're hoping that if this is a success, we can come back in maybe 3 months and have a 12-player league rather than 8 players. And so if that is the case, then I'm sure you'll be on the invite list if you are interested.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, that's great. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope you have all the best in this tournament.
Thank you very much. It was enjoyable.